Hello, everyone. This is MJ.
And this is Ira.
Welcome to I Can't Get No. No, no, no.
Customer satisfaction training.
Woo!
Woo! And today's episode is build, rapport. Fa la 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 la. And seeing that we have mentioned the word build a couple of times, that means we are serious, right? We mean business here.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. And come on, let's be real. It is the best way to avoid complaints. When we build connection and rapport with the student,
Hmm.
their patience will grow. They will extend their patience towards us, right? Am I
Right, right, right.
right?
Yeah, and being nice and being amiable will really, really go a long way. It always goes a long way. So if you're
I like
nice,
that word, amiable.
amiable, if you're nice, the students will like you easily. If you're patient, they will like you easily. It really pays off to be kind. Of course, this doesn't mean that you become a pushover and that you let
Hmm.
the student manipulate you or control you in class, or you let them boss you around. That's not it. Of course, you still have to exercise your authority in the class, but with kindness still,
Yes.
right? So it's really important for us teachers to be able to win over our students in every class. Of course, we don't always get to do that in the first class, but that's why we say build, build, build. You don't just do it on the first class or just on the second class. You
Yeah.
have to keep building it, right? You have to
Yeah.
keep building the relationship that you have with your students. And eventually, they will become your regular students. They will keep enrolling to your classes, and you'll be able to build that relationship, that rapport even more. Is that right?
Yes. So today we will be sharing how, or we will be giving you tips on how you can build, and continue to build rapport with the students. And I think the very first thing that we should always remember is we need to be on time. That is the first thing on how we can build rapport. Like respecting the students' time is very important. So make sure that you are on time. We understand that there can be technical problems, but if you're just late because you forgot or you're just late because I don't know, you did something personal,
Mhm.
that is not a good reason. You should always be on time. You always have this rule: if you cannot be on time, you have to come early. So
Yeah.
always be on time. That is number one in building rapport.
Yeah, we respect each other by showing that we respect each other's time as well. Like if you're late, then you have to try to make up for it and extend your class, and that is another way of building rapport with your students. Like you show them that I'm so sorry that I was late. I'm so sorry that we had this problem. Let me make it up to you. Let's
Yeah.
have a little bit more time studying, just so they feel that they're not um, uh, being I don't know what's the word for that. I don't even know, but that they won't feel that they're lacking from the
Yeah.
studying,
Kind of
right?
shows that you value their
Yeah,
time.
yeah. And that you're really eager for the class, If
Yeah.
our class is 25 minutes long, then make sure that you conduct the class for 25 minutes and then
Yes.
some, even a little bit more if needed, just to say goodbye. I know that part of building rapport also is like entertaining their questions after the class as much as you can. But of course, you can't let yourself also um, exceed the time too much that you miss your other class. Let's not do that, right? So, yeah, build rapport by respecting each other's time. And
Yes.
yeah, I mentioned earlier when Ira and I were talking that you have to remember their names. You have to remember the
Hmm.
name of your student and not get it mixed up with another student's name.
Yeah. That would be really bad
I
if you call
know.
the student by another name.
Yeah. Yeah. So just try to remember this little things like that, and remembering little things about them personally will really touch them. Like if you remember that they like Ultraman, for example, because I have a student who really likes Ultraman. If you remember
Mhm.
little things like Ultraman or their favorite food or what they told you they did last weekend, things like that. I know that it's if you have like 17 classes a day, it's going to be difficult to remember every detail about all the students, right? But for your regular students, you can build rapport by remembering those little things about them and asking them about those, like if you have a chance during the small free talk part of your class, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And you mentioned earlier to learn about the students, to get to know what they like, what they don't like, their hobbies, what their favorite food is,
Hmm.
and you'll be able to know that if you actively listen to the student. I
Right.
know that during the class we do a lot of things. We do encoding, sometimes we have to file things, we have to report things, but we have to be active listeners also.
Hmm.
We need to be 100% listening to the student while
Hmm.
also doing our other tasks. That is very important, because if you do not listen, then you will not get to know the student at all.
Yeah.
So you always have to listen to the student.
Yeah, I think so. That's another skill that we should learn to develop as well. Like still actively listening, even though you're also taking down a correction or looking up a word. You have to always have one ear listening to the student, you know. And I
Mhm.
think that if you're just searching or typing for something that is related to the class, it is easier for you to pay attention to what the student is saying than if, say, you're replying to someone's chat. You know, like if you have a coworker sending you a message and you want to reply to them, that is going to make your response time delayed. It will delay your response time as opposed to if your attention is really just on the lesson. Even if you're searching for something else for the student, if your attention is in the lesson, then it will be easier for you to really listen and pay attention to them, right?
Okay, yeah, that's very true. But what if we already came to class on time?
Mm-hmm.
We got the student's name right,
Mm-hmm.
and we listened actively to the students. We got to learn about the students' likes and dislikes. However, the student is still unresponsive. So, what do we do then?
Well, what do you do in times like that?
Well, for me, I make use of the drawing board. In Talk 915, we have this blackboard, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I know a lot of kids, they're very attracted to colors. They love art. So that's what you can do. You can start drawing. What I usually do if the student cannot understand or the student doesn't even know how to say his name, I just draw a smiley face. Then I say, smile, happy. And then the student will suddenly repeat those words. So that is the first step, I think, or one of the steps that you can do. Use the drawing board, draw things like a circle, a star, start with that.
Yeah, and I actually also do that because I like drawing. So I'm able to connect to students by making use of the blackboard as well, drawing to them and communicating to them using pictures that I know. But what if you don't know how to draw well, right? So is there no
Ooh.
hope for you anymore if you don't know how to draw well? That's why we have pictures from Google. You can upload it easily. There's a
Yes.
new feature in our system where you can just click on the button and then you can paste whatever image. You don't have to download and then save and upload. You don't have to do those things anymore. You just have to click on the button there. It's like a two square button like this, like the paste button, copy and paste button. So if you just click on that, you can immediately paste the image that you get from Google. So you can use that. If you don't know how to draw, then use pictures, you know? And also, you have props. Use visual aids. Like for me, I don't have my visual aids here at home since we're all working from home, but you can always have something handy like a unicorn, you know, something cute for them to look at, or yeah, or a crocodile like this. There's also a crocodile here, things like that. Or another reward system that you can show them. Like before, I had this monster that I feed with cupcakes or cookies, and the kids responded well to that. So that's why it's important for us to have some props as well, because it's a chance for us to build rapport by using what we have. So you just really have to make use of what you have, what you can do. And the good thing about our job is that we're in front of the computer, and it's easy for you to just get things from the computer to share with the student, right?
Yes. So we also have to remember that kids are very attracted to art. Like the age, I think 3 to 7 years old,
Hmm.
the artistic part of their brains are very active. So we have to make use of colors and pictures, paintings, and everything that is related to art, because that's where you will get their attention. And
Hmm.
another one is we also have to familiarize ourselves with the culture,
Yeah.
because if you are not teaching a kid, you're teaching an adult. You cannot use pictures all the time with an adult, right? So you have to be familiar with the culture, but you have to also pick the topics that you will talk about. So
Right.
remember, there are certain topics that we are not supposed to be talking about,
Hmm.
especially since this account is Chinese. So you have to pick what you will talk about. Like for me, in my personal experience, I tried listening to Chinese songs. even though I do not like Chinese songs. So I tried to listen to it, and I was able to connect to my student by singing a song to her. Do you even know this song? 我们一起前往家，眼前前
What are you
Forgot the song
doing?
anyway. Hey, hey, listen to me. I got my students to talk because of that song.
Yeah.
So you have to familiarize yourself with the student. And you can familiarize with yourself with pop culture in China.
Hmm.
So especially if you have teen students, they would be able to relate to those things. So you cannot talk to them about things that are popular in our country because they
Right.
won't know about that. So you have to learn about their culture, what's popular there, and what they're interested in.
Yeah, that's right. And also, you can easily build rapport by bringing up things that are easy to talk about. If you're just talking to the student for the first time, talk about food, talk about the weather. Like, since I
Yeah.
usually am hungry during class, I will ask them, have you eaten? Did you eat already? Or just food is an easy topic to talk about. Like, do you
Yeah.
like pizza? Do you like hamburgers? Do you like apples? Right? And even though they are not able to always express themselves, right, like just seeing pictures and then connecting the words to the pictures, you're able to already build rapport with them if they can say that they like this or they don't like this. So just simple topics like that, you're able to already um, build a relationship with them. Like if you're able to talk about something that is personal to them and not just what is about the lesson, which is, I guess, is what we have to remember as well. We can't just always be focused on the lesson, teaching and teaching them English, but them not really having a connection with us.
Yeah.
It's important to connect to your student, right? That's why we keep
Yeah.
on building it. We try to connect with them in every way that we can, drawing, singing, talking about food, maybe even complimenting their clothes or their new haircut, just things like that. If you learn how to connect to your student, then you'll be able to slowly build the rapport that you really need in class, right?
Yeah, so avoid being like a robot.
Yeah.
It's important that you finish the lesson, but make sure that you also interject things that are
Hmm.
not in the book so that the student will see, this person is, or this is a person, a human being. She's not just, or this teacher is not just sticking to the book. So I think I can learn more with this teacher. Right?
Yeah. So I hope that you all picked up something useful from our discussion for today. If you have some suggestions, if you want to share your own strategies in building rapport with a student, then leave a comment below. And also, if you have any questions that you want us to address in the next episode, then you can also leave that in the comments below. So once again, this is MJ.
And this is Ira.
It was great talking to you again. We'll see you again in the next episode.
Fa la la
Bye.